I am Barbara if you're new here, and thank you so much for joining me. Today is a bittersweet day because this is the day that we're going to start going through the tunnel, taking things out to prepare to put our fall crops in. Now, I know, you can see all this green behind me, beside me. Look at all that. I know. That's why I say it's bittersweet. And you would think after doing this for 4 years, I would get used to it, but I don't. It's one of the things that's necessary that I know that I need to do, but it always hurts me to do it. So if you're brand new here, just to kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on, I'm in Tennessee in Zone 7B, and we are in September now. And I have a lot of fall crops that I've started that are indoors, and the first succession of the ones that we planted together are ready to come outside. My goal is to probably get them out next week, but in order to do that, I have to start cleaning up and preparing the beds. And because this is a big space, it's not something that I can just do all in one day, get it all cleaned up, amend it, ready to go, and plant everything at one time. So it'll definitely be done in stages, and so I want to make sure that I give myself plenty enough time and to do it properly so that my fall crops have a good start. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to go through and take out the things that are not doing well to clear up space, and then we will decide which plants we're going to move in here first. Obviously, we're going to amend the beds and amend the soil. So if you're new here, I'm in my high tunnel, which is 30 by 96. This is the only place that we will be growing for the fall and for the winter. In here, I have 6 raised beds, 3 on each side. They're both 4 by 8. Man, that breeze feels so good. They're both 4 by 8. And then behind me, I have 5 rows that are 45 feet long each. And so behind me that you see in ground are tomatoes and peppers. So I know one of the first things we're going to do is to get rid of all of these peppers here. I'm going to take you over there and let you see. We have had an amazing summer harvest of peppers, but in the last 2 to 3 weeks we did have an aphid outbreak infestation that took over our peppers, and they have stopped producing. There's a few on there that I can see, but for the most part they haven't produced in the last couple of weeks. Especially that second row that I'm going to show you. And then also we have these raised beds. We have to start pulling things out. Now, I do have a crop plan about where everything is going to go. So even though we're pulling stuff out, one, we got to create some space, but then also I will be intentional about what gets planted first and all of that. Also, I am watching the temperatures. This week is in the 80s here, but last week it was in the 90s. It was like in the high 90s. And whatever it is outside, it's going to be plus 10 degrees, sometimes 15 degrees in the tunnel. Like right now, the tunnel where I am right now today is 97, but outside it's like 83, which is why I have my portable air conditioner. Like, y'all, commercial break. If you did not see the video where I talked about this, I don't even remember which video it was, but this is a portable air conditioning. Now, y'all, I'm seeing them everywhere I go. I was out of town last week and I saw 2 people with them. I had never even heard of it until a month ago. But this thing right here is the bomb. It is like so good. It has air conditioning and it has heat. We'll see if we ever need the heat. But right now it is cooling me, keeping me at a cool temperature, even though it's 97 degrees in here. But I digress. So we'll kind of go through. So let's walk over to the peppers. I want to show you what those look like. I want to show you, because I know that's absolutely the first thing that will go. And then I got to decide on other stuff that needs to go. Y'all, I'm looking over here at my beautiful flowers. Do y'all see that? Oh. Do y'all have a hard time pulling up y'all stuff? I do. But you know what? If I don't, it's a timing thing. You got to be able to get your fall crops in the ground. And because I've already started, I've done 2 successions so far of my fall crops, and they are busting at the seams. They are ready to go in the ground. And so it's time to transition. And there's no reason really for me to hold on except they still look good. A lot of them still look good and they can still produce. But we have reaped a bountiful harvest, so there's really no reason to hang on. Do y'all see I'm trying to talk myself up? Trying to talk myself up. Okay, y'all, let's go look at the peppers. That'll help me because they look bad. Let me go show you. Okay, so both of these rows over here on the right hand side, both of these are all bell peppers or some type of pepper. There's giant Marconi in there, and then also some pimento pepper and all that. So at this angle, you're like, man, they look good, they're green. But let me take you up close. You can see that the leaves are off of this one. Almost looks like some hornworm damage on these, and you can just see all of the like aphid, I call it aphid dust or whatever. Like these have lost leaves, and like this row is barely producing. You can kind of see that here. Look, you can see those bugs that are on there. It's almost like a stink bug. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's the actual aphid or not, but you can see that there. So it ain't gonna hurt my feelings to take these out because I'm tired of looking at them. Then as I walk down here, like you can see, there's absolutely nothing on these plants. Nothing at all. Look at this here. You can see how black that looks. This is what the bottom side looks like. You see that? It is caked. Now you can wipe that off and the pepper is still good, but you can see all the damage that is done. Like look at that one there. So these are gonna be the first things to go because it ain't gonna hurt my feelings whatsoever to get rid of these. You can just see the damage that is done. That's an old eggplant that needs to go. And then here, you can see all the like dead leaves and stuff. Like look, there's a pepper in there somewhere. It's covered up with black stuff. Oh look, I got a few there. But like this one down here is not as bad as the others. So, and like this plant actually looks good. This one like here. Okay, so you can see the aphid infestation on those peppers. So it's not gonna hurt my feelings to get rid of those, get all those dead leaves out. The jalapenos, some of them are not as bad, so I may leave those. My husband's gonna probably fight me. He's on his way down here at some point. He's probably gonna fight me tooth and nail about getting rid of those, but I'm gonna wait on him so we can kind of talk about the game plan for the peppers. But while I wait on him, I'm gonna go ahead. I got my wheelbarrow. I already have some stuff that I've pulled out. I'm gonna go ahead and get that in the wheelbarrow and then start pulling the things that I know are not good and that need to go. Okay, so what you saw me doing was I took all the green beans out of this bed behind me and harvested the green beans that were on the vines. Not very much, enough for probably like one person. That's it. And so next I'm moving on to this bed here. This bed here has the eucalyptus. Of course, the eucalyptus will stay, but I have bell peppers in this bed as well as a new basil plant. I'll keep the new basil plant and let it produce some more for right now, but I'm going to take out the poblano peppers and the bell peppers out of this bed. Y'all, look at this. All of these peppers on this. I hadn't even seen them. Wow, that one's been eaten. They won't get a chance to turn. Some of these are bad. They won't get a chance to turn orange, but I can still use them green. Wow, there were quite a few on here that I couldn't even see. And y'all, the poblanos never did anything. Like, I had the ones that I showed you in the very beginning, and then it just didn't do anything after that. I'm not sure why. So we're making progress on this bed here. Okay guys, this whole bed is done. There is nothing left except this new basil plant that was part of that very last succession. So that one is growing nicely, and then the eucalyptus. You can see the eucalyptus, the one that's in the middle, that's a brand new eucalyptus from this year. And then the tall one is one that's 2 years old, and then I got another one that's 3 years old. And see what happens. But pretty much this whole bed is done, and it's ready to be amended and planted. I'm going to keep the basil here for a little while longer so I can get more harvest off that, and then I won't feel so bad when I take this basil away. I'm not going to take this basil away today. I'm going to harvest this some more and get everything I can off these, and then I'll take them up at the end of this week. So from the bed that I just did and cleared, we got this many bell peppers, and y'all, I did have a few poblanos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're relatively small, but I've never had poblanos before. So I heard it has like a smoky taste. Let me know what you do with yours. I don't know. They're too little to stuff. Can I just cut them up and just do them like regular peppers? And then I have all of these bell peppers here that were coral bell peppers, so eventually it would turn orange, kind of like this one, but I'll just use them green. So I got a whole basket of peppers from just this one bed that we just got rid of and cleared everything. So then the bed beside it, I cleared the green bean row. The other stuff that's in here are flowers and jalapenos. I'm going to come back to that. Now let's move on to the pepper bed. My husband is now down here. So now let's go take a look and say goodbye to these 2 rows of bell peppers. Okay, y'all, the first row is almost gone. I think he has 3 or 4 left in that row. He did harvest some bell pepper, so there's like a whole basket full, and then some on the ground that look good. They just need to be rinsed off really, really well. So if I had to guess, that's probably a good 15 bell peppers, the last of them. So 1 row almost done. We'll keep going until we get both rows complete. All right, y'all, just like that, he has 2 left on this row, and then both rows are completely pulled up and done. This is truly saying goodbye to the bell peppers. It's been a good ride, but I'm glad to have them all pulled up. It looks desolate. Let me show you all the rubbish. You can see all of the aftermath, but it is done. The row we're starting on next are the tomatoes. We're starting with the middle row because I know for sure I want that whole row gone. When we get to this row, there may be some that I may keep, just like a couple of them, not too many, that are still looking good and still producing. But this row I know completely I want gone. It's not producing much, and it's pretty much a lot of damage. So you can see he's already done half of this row. Again, it looks like destruction and construction has taken place. You can see all of the different rubbish piles. Let me show you, while he's been doing that, let me show you what I've been doing. So I'm starting to clear out all the stuff again that I don't want. So in this bed, I took out the Thai basil and the plant that I had that was really just for decoration. So the only thing that's left in this one is comfrey and eucalyptus. I'll plant either snapdragons in here or pansies or sweet alyssum, just some type of flower for the winter is what's going to go in there. But otherwise, this bed is empty and done. Circular bed, I've taken out the basil from the first planting that we did that had gone to seed. I took that out, so that left some space. I took out the tarragon. So what's left in here is oregano, which can withstand the winter, sage, which should be fine, and then that is a new basil plant there that was part of the second succession wave. So I have at least 2 basil that are new that can still grow for a little bit of time. I've cleaned out this bed here. The only thing that is left, oh, I left that basil. I'm going to take that basil plant out right here. Okay, so this bed is clear except this one plant. I'm just going to let this stay in here until I get ready to plant the bed, just because I didn't get a lot of these peppers yet, and so I want to have a few more turn orange so that I can harvest them. So I'm going to let this hang out until I get until I'm ready to plant, and then I'll pull it. Okay guys, we are making significant progress. So now we're on the section where the jalapenos are. Remember I showed you earlier about the aphid damage. Y'all, my husband surprised me. He agreed we're actually harvesting all of the jalapenos off of these plants, and there are many, even though I just harvested yesterday. There were several that I couldn't even get to, and we're gonna pull these plants. And here's the reason why we've decided. He kind of pushed me over the edge. I was thinking that, but he kind of pushed me over the edge. One, I just want to get the aphids out of here. I don't want to see the infected plants. I don't want it to spread to anything else. And as I put the fall crops in here, I just want to start with good, clean environment. So that's number one. Number two, we still do have jalapeno plants that are doing well outside in the outside garden. So we still will have jalapenos to make jalapeno salt. So we are harvesting all the jalapenos that we can. We will freeze dry, and hopefully we will be able to sell jalapeno salt at least through the fall and the winter is what we're thinking, and that's what we're hoping. Last year I think we sold out like maybe in September, October, and we didn't have any more until the summer. So we're hoping that because I grew more plants that we'll have more to sell at least a little bit longer into 2024. So my husband is harvesting. He already has like half of a basket. I'm going to jump in here and help, and then these plants are going to go away. We already got the middle row of the tomato row done. So y'all, now at the beginning of this video, I was hesitant. I wasn't nervous. I was just, like I said, it was bittersweet. But once you start doing it and you get into it, you're like, okay, it's got to go. It got to go. We got to make room, because it is goodbye to these crops, but it's not goodbye overall. It's goodbye to summer, and it's hello to fall. So let me turn you around and show you what we're up to. Things continue to pick up. You can see my husband has the whole middle row of the tomatoes gone. He's now working on the last row and has only half of that row left. We've done this row with all the jalapenos and taking them out. What you see left are the cucumbers. Now over to the raised beds. Pretty much I've been working on that, and they're pretty much clean and clear except for a few plants that I want to keep until I plant the rest of the bed. But for the most part, it's pretty much done. You can see all of our piles. You can see, again, these beds are cleared out pretty much completely, and the next step will be to amend the beds and get them ready and fertilized. By the way, look at all the produce we harvested as we were taking these plants down for good. Multiple baskets. Okay, y'all, it's been quite the day, but I feel very productive. I showed you a scan of all the progress we made. My husband is working on literally the last 3 tomatoes and pulling those up, and then everything in the in-ground rows are done. Everything in the raised beds are pulled up with the exception of my herbs. The one pepper plant I showed you that I want to get some more of those little orange peppers from. a flower that I'm gonna harvest to put on my table this week, and echinacea. Not echinacea, eucalyptus. Other than that, and the basil. I'm gonna do another couple of harvests of the basil from the first succession. So, oh, that's Lexi. So we got it all done. I am tired, but the sun has just kind of gone down. Hey, Lex. Y'all, look at Lexi. Okay, she don't want to be on camera. Okay. I am tired, but feel very, very accomplished. Once I got into it, I'm like, yep, gotta go. It's this way every single year, but even though it's a little bittersweet, I am hopeful and expectant for the fall garden. We get a chance. Now, summer by far is my favorite in terms of the food that comes out of the fall garden. That is my favorite. Like tomatoes, peppers, like all of that stuff, I enjoy eating more than I do the fall and winter crops. I still love the fall and winter stuff, but if I had to pick between the food, I like the summer food, but obviously I love gardening the fall and winter to a certain extent. I mean, the pace is just slower. You don't have to deal with pests as much. But by the time, January, February hit, I'm like, okay, bring on the summer. It's something about that hustle and the bustle, peak season, all the spaces going, even though it wears you out. And I have called it the summer press. You know that it is indeed temporary. So depending on where you live and what zone you're in, I know that if you're like in the Northwest, like the Pacific Northwest, you guys are not just getting started, but you're in the middle of your season. You still probably have another good 45 days to go to bring in, multiple tomato harvests and all of that good stuff. But for those of us in zone 7, like in the southern states and other places, we are wrapping up summer and looking towards fall. My tunnel looks like complete destruction, chaos, demolition, desolate. It looked like all of those things, but that is the sign that we did a lot of work today. So from here, what we'll do next is we will start to clean up the tunnel in terms of like the debris and all the stuff that we have just, everywhere. We'll try to clean that up as much as we can. Because we don't have a tractor, we're having to keep around the stuff much longer than we normally would. We're going to try to get this cleared out and the outside garden, and then we'll just run another tractor to kind of haul it all off at the same time, just to kind of save on costs instead of renting a tractor every single weekend. That tends to eat up costs really, really fast. But we will definitely blow out the walkways, the breezeways, and all that. And what I'll also be doing next is reviewing my crop plan so that I feel comfortable with where everything is going. I will be taking inventory of the seedlings that I have to see if I have enough that fits the crop plan. If not, then what's the plan for that? So we're moving into the planting phase next, and then after that we will start planting the fall garden. So I would anticipate, my goal is that within a week we will have the fall garden planted. That is my goal. I'm home for 2 weeks, and so I really want to get it planted before I leave, and I want to get it planted at least a week before I leave, so that way I can monitor, see things, and then obviously I will be watching the 10-day weather forecast. Right now it is looking fantastic. It's going to be in the mid 80s the rest of this week, and then next week it's going to be some high 70s, which is perfect. So I will keep watching as we get closer, and hopefully the temperatures will stabilize and stay in that 70 to 80 range, and we don't have any more of those 95 to 98 high days. That's what I hope, because once you put in the tunnel, like I said, the tunnel is like 10-15 degrees higher than what it is outside. It is very nice and pleasant. I'm gonna go home, clean up, cook dinner, and do all the things inside the house. And then also on the harvest, I did a video, I guess a few days ago, talking about the last summer harvest, but we just got another big harvest from taking out all the plants. There were things that I didn't even see. Plants that were covered up and that was full of peppers. You saw some of that. So we have 3 baskets of food that we got today, just as we were taking the plants out. So that is indeed the last summer harvest from the tunnel. We still have, let's see, we still have all of that to be blessed by, deal with, insert whatever word you want to insert. But thank you guys for joining me on the tour today of Demolition Central around here and the bittersweet of transitioning from the summer to the fall. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. I'll pop a couple of other videos up here for you to take a look at between now and my next video. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.